Good morning and welcome, grade 8. This is lesson 4, the last lesson for the week, and we're going to end off today with equations. The last section is solving equations using the laws of exponents. And very important here, you have to know that the inverse of a square is a square root, and the inverse of a cube is a cube root, and also vice versa. So the inverse of a cube root is a cube, and the inverse of a square root is a square. Right, so if we look at example 1, if you have x squared is equal to 4, then the one way you could do it is by inspection. You would just say what to the power of 2 will give you 4. And that's very easy to see. 2 to the power 2 will give you 4. So x is 2. Another way of doing it, the mathematical way of using the rules here on top that I've explained to you. X squared is equal to 4. X squared, we want to do the inverse of the x squared. So we place over it a square root, because a square root and a square cancel each other out. So then you are left, but please, on the first, if you do it on the left hand side, you have to do it on the right hand side. So if you see an x squared, you say, all right, what is the inverse of a square? A square root. So you place a square root over that, and they then cancel out over there, and you are left with the x. But what you do on the one side, you have to do on the other side. So the square root of 4 is then 2. Square root of 4 is 2. In grade 8, I also just want to show you, very quickly you would have just told me by inspection as well, oh, but the answer is 2. Remember, if you go and replace a value into x, you always replace it within brackets. So you said your answer is 2. 2 to the power 2 is 4. But isn't there another answer as well? If you have a look, I wrote here x is equal to plus minus 2, a positive or a negative 2. Let's go and look. Because 2 to the power 2 is 4, but also negative 2, the whole negative 2. Remember, inside the x value, you put a bracket, and inside the bracket, you replace the x with a negative 2. And if you do that, you are raising the whole negative 2 to the power 2. So negative times a negative, so negative raised to the power 2, negative times negative also gives you a positive, and 2 to the power 2 gives you 4. So please remember, with the squares, if you square root it, your answer will always be a positive and a negative, and then the square root. Okay, so please remember plus minus 2. So you would have had 2 answers. Okay, if you look at our next example, example 2 over there. Now we're just making it a little bit more intricate by adding 2 terms on this side. So x, it's still 1 term over there. What is the loose term here on this side? The plus 18. So the easiest way is to throw the plus 18 over to the other side, but as you throw it over, it becomes a minus 18. So what is left on this side? The cube root of x is equal to 26 minus 18. So the cube root of x is equal to 26 minus 18 is 8. Now, you could have said, well, the cube root of what gives you 8? But maybe it's a little bit more difficult. So let's look at the original rules that I've explained to you. What is the inverse of a cube root? Something to the power 3, a cube. So what you're going to do is you take that whole, the cube root of x, and you place it in brackets to the power 3. Okay, by doing that, those will cancel out. That everything will cancel out there, and you are left with the x inside. But remember, in red, what you did on the one side, you must do on the other side. And 8 to the power 3 gives you 512. Okay, easy to go and check your answer. The cube root of 512 plus 18, does it give you 26? So the cube root of 512 is 8, and 8 plus 18 does give you 26. All right, then please grade 8, if you can go and do exercise 10.5 A to J on page 124. Thank you and enjoy your day.